Welcome and thank you so much for being here at 1133 Podcast. I'm really, really excited to discuss this amazing topic of the possibility of living without food. But more than that, what you often talk about is this state of being, or what means to be human, this self-realization that we're going to be discussing together. So welcome. If you wanted to share with us a little bit of who you are.
Okay, thank you so much for inviting me and allowing me to be through this platform that you are creating, that, by the way, is very interesting and very beautiful. Your paper in this work that we all are doing, just by bringing a message of love, peace, growth, consciousness. So thank you for inviting me to this show.
So, Akahmi, can you share with us your situation with food, so people can have a little bit of a general knowledge of who are we talking with here?
My relation with food is very beautiful. I love food, even that I don't eat it. I love it. I think that food is something that is wonderful for humans to enjoy and to explore the diversity that exists in this planet. So yeah, I have a good relationship with food. As I said, I don't eat it. I don't use it as a fuel or as a sustenance or as a nourishment as other people do. But I do respect the presence of food in the planet.
So most people would ask, where do you get your energy from? And this is a classic question. I'll just start with some of the classic questions people ask to people like you, that can live without food.
The energy is all the time available. Energy is, for example, what we are creating in this moment, me and you, by talking, by just saying hello to each other. Right away we are connecting, we are growing together, we are being together, and that beingness is energy. For example, just a few minutes before I came to this interview with you, I was here in my garden in the backyard of my house and just looking to the sun for a few minutes, just taking a few deep breaths. Right away enhances the energy systems. It's like the energy is all the time available, but when we give the opportunity to get close to it, to give attention to it, we receive it right away. So my practices are the conscious breath and the contemplation of the beauty of the life. That is the way how I receive energy.
Interesting. I'm very intrigued to know about your process as well. I know you have shared that you were vegetarian, that then you were vegan, and then you went raw vegan, fruitarian, and gradually you became a breatharian, or someone who doesn't need to eat to live. I don't know if you drink, by the way.
I do drink, not all the time. Maybe 2 cups of tea or chai in the day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the night. Very random, and also there is not any kind of routine. Some days it happens, other days not. So it's very flexible.
Yeah. And how has your body changed?
When I did my 21-day process in 2008, in March, in the country of Ecuador, with my wife, I did lose some weight, also some muscular mass, because it was 21 days. It was a more radical process that includes 7 days of dry fast and 14 days drinking very watery juices. After that, I continued drinking and I did gain some weight, but not all what I lose. Maybe like 50% of what I lose. So that was the only change that I experienced at that level. In terms of like changes of the physiology or the state of my body, that did continue happening after my body stabilized the weight. And the first impressions, the first feedbacks that my body was showing was rejuvenation. Right away, my family members, my friends, when they saw me, they told me that I was looking very young, like if I did rejuvenate. So for me, that was like the beginning of seeing the results of the process in my body, and open also more power to trust in the unfoldment of it. It was a challenging time because, to live on light at the beginning, at that time when I did it, it was very, very hidden. Not much people knew about that. So there was a lot of criticism, but just by trusting, by believing in the feeling, because there was like a feeling of wellness that, of course, it continues, but in the first instances when it was really fresh, it was so beautiful to feel that wellness every day, all the time. And the body continued, then gradually I felt my eyesight also sharper, brighter, the colors. Then I start perceiving also like my hearing, more sensoriality, like my senses were enhanced. That opened other possibilities by the time. So I start to kind of use my mind to put information in my body, like consciously programming my body using the breath and using what I was feeling as well-being through me. So like reaffirming the well-being using my own mind. And that reaffirmation kind of made my body strong. I felt that my body was completely strong. And then I came back to the city, to Quito, and I started doing exercises again, because at that time I used to do aerial silk and acrobatics.
Beautiful.
So I come back to do that and to train, and I realized that my body was able to do things that before wasn't, like more strong, more flexible, and I was able to adjust to any kind of physical exercise or requirement that I had to face. That was kind of the first symptoms of the understanding the transformation that actually did happen, like really like feeling it and observing it, that understanding that it was true.
Well, it's amazing what you're sharing. For example, one of my friends that I was talking to him and saying that I was going to interview you, he was asking me, first of all, do you believe them? And the other thing that he was saying is, I really want to see a photo to see if they look really, really old. And you're saying it's completely the opposite.
Yeah, it is the opposite. And not only me, because when I realized that it was happening in me, that was awesome. But then I started, using the breathing techniques that I felt that I should use to continue nourishing on prana. And by using those techniques and mastering them in myself, somehow the life guided me to start teaching them and sharing them. And by sharing them through the day process, I realized that actually everybody rejuvenates after they connect with prana. It's not something that happens to special people or just to me. It's something that happens to every person that experience from the core of the cellular structure the expansion of the light, the increase of energy in the body.
And Akahi, can I ask you something that intrigues me? So you start receiving more light, and I will guess that your body has to adjust to these new frequencies, to these new ways of existing, right? That I would guess is more expanded and even more, how could I say this? Sometimes when you feel a lot of joy, it can feel even uncomfortable. It's like when you're so happy that you can take it. So I don't know if for you, that you have been into this pranic nourishment for 8 years, it has been also a process to be able to embody this amount of energy and these new frequencies. This is more or less how I see it, but correct me if I'm wrong, or how do you experience this?
Yes, it is require a time of integration, that's for sure. Because at the beginning it's very expanded. It's like you become more like in the realm of the energy. That's what I felt for me after my process, that I went to another realm of existence of myself. That was the realm of myself as energy. And it was very pleasurable. It was very complete. So it's kind of that I felt that I was separated from the physical reality, and that I became energy being completely, and my thoughts were from that state. All what I was doing was coming from that awareness of myself as energy. So, but sometimes people that is in the earth reality, I mean, in the more material, in the physical, it takes some time for me. It took some time to understand that I have to be human, that actually I did came to this planet to be human, and that I have to ground myself and ground this knowledge, ground my light into my human existence. And I used to, for example, after my process, I used to go out, to the city or to the places and see people eating in restaurants. And for me, it was, I couldn't believe how people can think that the food was nourishing them. For me, it was something like absurd, I couldn't understand how people can believe that little food can nourish such a big energy body.
Fascinating.
So it took some time for me to accept the difference of perspectives. And for me also it was challenging to walk, to feel so happy, to feel so joyful, so enlightened, and walk in the streets and see people that is homeless, people that is, having different tough lives, you see. So I felt that this has to come to them, that this has to come to everybody. And I also was able to see that the light is inside of every being, that the same joy, the same light that I did awake in me by the living on light process, I saw that it was also available in every being. So it was a process for me to start to adjust my state of consciousness, to reach the state of consciousness of this environment as human being. So sometimes I had to talk with people that they couldn't understand at all the language of the higher consciousness. But, I realized that I have to talk in another language for them, use other words, other feelings to share the light, but in a different dimension of consciousness. And that was part of integration, to adapt back to this society, to this life. It can be challenging. At that time of the 21-day process, I believe it was more challenging, because the 21-day process is a process that is more longer time. It requires, as the same reason, because it's a more longer process, the body suffer more drastic changes, you see, and also to reintegrate, to go back for the body to its normal state. Also, it used to be a little bit more challenging, but now is different. What I have seen with the 8-day process is that has become so easy that after ending the process, you feel ready to come back to your life, and you feel completely like excited actually to go back and to bring the light into the family, into the work, into the career, and anything that you are focusing into. So it was, as we as humans are evolving, and as new processes like the 8-day process that is making it so easy are taking more fit into the society, it will be more and more easy to transition, and less physical symptoms, less and less effort, will be all natural.
This is so interesting. You have mentioned many things that I'm so intrigued and fascinated about. But exactly what you're saying right now, one of my questions was going to be, what have you seen at a social level that has changed since, since 8 years ago? Because you decided to step into the public area and you are sharing a message to all of us. And I know many people that live from light do not. They rather stay, in a more quiet environment. So I'm curious about why you step publicly to speak about this, and what are the changes you've seen in society regarding these topics?
Everything has been guiding me from the very time that I did decide to take the 21-day process. I never wanted to be or to do what I'm doing. It was all naturally unfolding. After I did my 21-day process, I went back to Bolivia, and then I went back to Ecuador in 2009. And when I was in Ecuador, I was just, in my own process, living on light with Camila together, experiencing and learning about it. But then this lady from France, she found us, and she was very intrigued about what it was to be a breatharian. So she did the very first interview that is available in YouTube of me, and that is very simple, very humble. And after that interview, I went back to Bolivia because I was working with kids. I was teaching art in a school, in a project that I was creating. And I stayed in Bolivia for like another year, and then I come back to Ecuador in 2010, and this lady was there in Vilcabamba in Ecuador, and she told me, I put your video on YouTube. At that time, I didn't have even a Gmail account. I didn't have YouTube. I didn't have computer because I was just backpacking and traveling in South America with my art. But when I came back, she said, I put your video on YouTube, and people all over the world is watching it, and they are emailing me wanting to know how they can connect with you. So I was like surprised, honestly. So I did create my first Gmail account in 2010. And after that, she put my Gmail in the video on YouTube, and people from all over the world start to email me wanting to learn more, wanting to know what I was doing and how it was continuing for me. I didn't have time to respond all those emails because I was traveling. But one day I did saw an email from another television channel, the Supreme Master TV. And I did respond that email. They were inviting me to another interview because they wanted to know a little bit more about that and how it was for me and my wife to experience that. And we felt that the way how they wanted to present this topic, it was not kind of to create a debate about it, or to judge, or to criticize it. It was more like to show to the public the possibility. So we did agree with that because we felt that that was the right way to do it. And this interview went all over the world because at that time this used to be an international television channel. So that was the way how this started, you see. And after that, of course, it just skyrocketed because people wanted to know more. People wanted to experience what it is to breathe consciously. So they start to invite me to different countries to give seminars. I came to the States. The first people that took the process were doctors. So they all were able to see the real benefits of this 8-day process. And they were who actually helped me to promote it here and to plant the seed of the 8-day process in the States. And after that, it went around the world.
Wow, amazing. You were mentioning doctors. So, and you were also sharing with me that one of the things that you wanted to talk about a little bit are the scientific proof around the possibility of living from light. I don't know if you can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, there are many beautiful results that are coming, you see, and of course we want to continue experimenting to show even more in detail and more like, with a good team of doctors or like somebody that want to go deeper into this. But until now, what we have done, mostly something that also have come out naturally, effortlessly, has been a few tests. We did some blood tests with us many years ago. But what is more surprisingly is what is happening now while sharing the process with the participants. Because, a certain moment we did experiments with us. I did experiments, for example, about measuring my energy field. When I was in Holland in 2013, I was teaching the process. And one of the participants of the process, it has the GDV technology of Dr. Korotkov from Russia. And he wanted to see how was my energy, if it was true that, living on light is possible and what actually shows that physiologically. So he did the measurement with me. He was explaining me that the average amount of energy is between 17,000 to 22,000. And when he did the measurement with me, my energy was 26,500.
So absolutely up the scale.
So I was 4,500 more of the optimum health.
Amazing.
So he was amazed. He was like, wow, that's real. Now we can see that was real. And also that machine, that technology is able to see the distribution of the energy in the organs, in the chakras, and everything was very good results. So for me, it was also the first time that I was able to see in my, through the screen of the computer, what actually was happening in me. So after that, I hired him. I decided to take this person to travel with me. We went to Israel, and we came to the States together. And in all those countries, we did the process, and we did measurements with participants of the 8-day process to see if also they experience increases of energy or actually what happened in their bodies, in their energy fields, while experiencing the 8-day process. And the results were also amazing. Yeah, everybody gaining energy. Even that the 8-day process is a process that also have only 3 days of dry fast that are optional. Some people do it with water, some people do it dry fast. Even with that dry fast, at the end, the people gain energy. So they all came out having more energy than what they have at the beginning.
That's amazing. And as you were saying, it's only a few days, and the process is getting apparently shorter and shorter, right?
Yeah, I mean, the way how humans are understanding and opening to this is getting faster and faster. I don't think that is about making a process shorter and shorter. I think that is about making one that works. That works because also we can do, for example, 3 days. I used to do a 3-day process before, and also was powerful and beautiful, but to go deeper to the core, to the deep core of the pranic state, you need the amount of time that is perfect for that.
Right.
There is no need to do it in a hurry. There is no need to accelerate anything. Just to do what is the right thing to do.
I'm really curious to know, for example, what happens when someone is getting into this process? How do you know if someone is getting pranically nourished, or if someone is getting a lack of nutrition? How do you see that difference?
Everybody sees it. Like I can see it also, but as participants, they feel it. They feel it every day. You see, the thing is like, for example, in the AD process, the people notice that around the fourth day, they are losing a little bit of weight because they are dry fasting for the first day, second day dry fasting. So they are losing a little bit of weight, but energetically, physiologically, they'll feel fine. They feel healthy. They don't feel like there is something lacking. They do understand that their body is releasing a lot of toxins and cleaning, and that is something that is a natural part of the process, but there is no lack of energy. So that is what makes this process so easy and so safe, because the breathing sessions that we do every day, they energize the body. So there is not that lack of energy, that tiredness, that excessive tiredness that I did experience, for example, in my 21-day process. That is a tiredness that you feel like you are dying. You see, that doesn't happen in the day process.
Super interesting. And for this 8-day process, does people need to have any prerequisite, like, for example, having had a detox or a special kind of diet, or is it something that anyone can come into that and have positive results?
That is the beauty of this process, that everybody can do it right away. Just is like out of the package. You just go, and actually is the best if you don't have experience fasting, because then you go with the innocence, and this will be like a beautiful and nice fast, something that is very enjoyable. So the memory, the relationship about being without food for a few days will be a good memory.
And when they finish the process, they are all able to live from light, or they go into, slowly into eating again. So is it a choice, or is there a second part that needs to be, embodied?
Is their individual process.
Yeah.
Most of the people that experience the process, they gradually, after the juices, they gradually go back to eat fruits or veggies, salads, and they create like their own balance. They create the right amount that is the best for them. Some people eat 30% of what they used to eat before. Some people go back to eat 40% of what they used to eat before. Other people 20%. Other people only stay in juices for months.
Yeah. And
so it's very, very flexible in that.
And I'm curious about something. Many people ask me as well when we talk about this topic, is why would someone want to stop eating? So I would like to know, why did you want to stop eating, and what are the main motivations you see in people that attend your workshops, for example?
I never wanted to stop eating. When I did my 21-day process, it was not about the stop eating. The process is a process for the evolution of the consciousness. The process gives us the freedom to not need food, but it's a complete different idea of doing it because stop eating. And I think that is the missing piece in the people perspective about the 21-day process or the 8-day process. is that, and also about breatharianism. People think that is about the stop eating, and that is the wrong path of seeing it. Breatharianism is a way of expansion of the consciousness, and the expansion of the consciousness, it takes us back to our true essence, to our energetic blueprint. And when we access our energetic blueprint, then we just are aware of who we truly are. And that is the pranic state. Just being aware that you are energy and that you have an infinite source of energy. And that is the ultimate state. You see, that is what every process and every true pranic master will tell you, that this is not about not eating, that is about entering in a state of consciousness in which you are aware of your true potential, a state of consciousness in which you are aware of your own thoughts, a state of consciousness in which you are capable of using your mind to create your own reality, a state of consciousness in which you can use your gifts to share with others, or to help others, or to benefit humanity. It's a state of consciousness of self-realization. So you have self-realized, you have self-discovered yourself. And then you can share your gifts, your talents, because you have discovered those talents.
Akahmi, can you share with us, how did that self-realization happen to you? Was it a process? Was it something that suddenly happened and awakened within you? Was it something that happened, within a second, or has it been something that has been developing within your body and your being?
Self-realization, it happens to all of us. In my case, it happens from when I was born. I mean, self-realization is something that it happens through the life. We can have glimpses of enlightenment, like having ayahuasca or shamanic experiences. But the true self-realization is what we experience and gain through our life, through the knowledge that we gain in our life. So, for example, for me, the realization starts by trusting in the gift. I always felt that we all have a gift. So I did realize from children that I was having a gift, that I came to this world with gifts. So for me, I started to discover the art. You see, drawing, writing poetry, making music. That was for me what I felt that was my gift. So as I continue practicing that gift with my childhood, when I was younger, writing music, playing music, singing music, I felt that I was doing right, that I was experiencing my gift. And for me, that was the seed, that was everything, because the gift will take you to the self-realization.
Beautiful.
So, for example, after that, I became a painter, all self-taught. I learned everything by myself. The music, the painting, all was self-taught. And then I went traveling around South America, exposing my paintings. And of course, all was just trusting in the art, trusting in the gift. I knew that I was able to make money. I was able to have the most wonderful travel if I only trust in the art, in the gift. And of course, I have to do it. I have to paint and I have to sell my paintings, but that was my gift.
This is what people say, follow your joy?
Exactly. Something like that, definitely. So I was following my joy, you see, what was making me happy. And then is when traveling in South America, I came across the other aspects of self-realization, that was also the messages of the earth, the messages of the Pachamama. That was for me very powerful. Was like like a deeper calling. It's like the earth was grabbing me from wherever I was. The Pacha was grabbing me and bringing me back to her. When I was in Peru, when I was in Bolivia, Lake Titicaca, and Machu Picchu, I couldn't escape from the language of the earth. The Pachamama was so close to me that it became kind of my master, became my guide, because I was just traveling, you see, backpacking, without knowing when I was coming back to my country, just backpacking without destiny, honestly, because I was an artist, a free artist. So it was the Pacha was starting to guide me, to take me to the towns where I should be, with the people that I should be, and to make the experiences that I should make. So, for example, being in Lake Titicaca, I used to wake up in the morning and just be there in front of the lake and breathe and observe the peace of the lake, of the water, and just, you see, like observing the magnificence of the earth. And just by being in that magnificence, I was able to feel happy, to feel energetic, to feel alive, to feel realized, to feel complete. And that was what continued empowering me to and guiding me in my life, you see. Then I met the Sweat Lodge, the Temazcal. That was also a beautiful experience of self-mastery, you see, because the Sweat Lodge is a very close kind of dome that we put very hot stones inside, and there is a shaman that throws water to those hot stones, and there is this kind of dome that gets very hot, so hot. I don't know if you have experienced the Sweat Lodge.
Yeah, the Temazcal, yes, I have. It's an amazing experience.
Yeah, so you see, sometimes when you are there, you face your own fears, because it's so hot. You want to escape. You feel like you cannot handle it anymore. You see, but all that is just internal fear. You see, so for me, I was able to the Sweat Lodge face my own fears and to understand that there was parts of me that I need to face. You see, and by repeating and going back to the Sweat Lodge and coming back again, I was able to feel more powerful, you see, to face those challenges and to not be a victim any longer of those memories or those circumstances of my life. So that was also part of the self-empowerment and the self-realization. And after that is when the 21-day process came to me. It came to my house to look for me. And I never was looking for the 21-day process. I did never read the book of Jasmuhin. I was just in my house, and somebody came and told me, hey, you see, there is a 21-day process to live on light. And so the process came to look for me, and of course it took me some days to understand why that process came to look for me, but it was because I was ready, because I have matched, I have reached the state in which my vibration has matched the vibration of the light.
Thank you so much for sharing that. It's a beautiful story, and it transported me, to the land of Peru and Machu Picchu while you were speaking. How this question comes to me. Self-realization, they say there are infinite ways to realize self. What is your opinion on how does food relate to self-realization? Why is it that this path that every person that I've talked to that is a vegetarian, and that can live from pranic nourishment, is talking about this state of being and this true nature of being. So how does food and the physical body and this process is helping us to realize who we are?
Food can be a distraction for our internal work, to the work for us to discover our gift. and to be self-realized by the awakening and the manifestation and the use of that gift. So you understand, if you spend a lot of time thinking about food and cooking and working for food, there is no time for yourself. There is just a little time for yourself. And the less and less time that you give to yourself, more and more far away from your true nature you are. And the more and more far away you are, the people get more confused. And there is when the illnesses start to manifest and all of that. So that's why it's important for us to create like a perfect balance with the food, not to be dependent of it, not to be addicts of it, just to have food as a possibility. And by having that way the food, we will be able to see the priorities and to see yourself as a priority, not the food, but to see your own spirit, your own mind, your own body as a priority. And when you focus on yourself as a priority, then is when you will reach the self-realization, because you will be focusing yourself. And in anything that you get focused, you will master. Because that's what humans do, Anything that humans focus, they will master it. So imagine if humans focus in themselves and their true development. They will become masters. So the food could be a little obstacle for that. That's why the process creates in the people that window of time to see themselves without food, to see themselves so powerful how they can be without food. So when they come back to their lives, now they know that they also can be without food. They can eat, but they also can be without it, and they are still powerful.
Right. Thank you for that answer. And I wonder as well, in this society, we tend to have goals. We are always pursuing something. It can be, an economic finance state. It can be having a family. It can be something external or internal. In your case, I have the sense that you live a life that is more in flow or more, I would dare say, peaceful. So my question would be, how do you live your life? If you have any goal, do you have any goals in your life?
I do have goals now because I have a family, I have kids. So my life has been changing gradually as my kids have grown. And now, of course, I have goals because I want to create the best life for them. To give them a good future and everything. So that's my goal. Yeah. To be the best dad for them and to support them in all what they want also, and to make their life beautiful in all aspects. There is also another goal that is inside of me, that is the goal of sharing this work that I'm doing with as much people as possible, But it's something that is happening effortlessly. It's like I have this internal intention of doing that, but it's just my intention. It's something that is in my heart, and this intention is creating, even that I'm not pushing, I'm not with effort trying to achieve this goal. It is happening naturally. So it's like a combination of that, It's like knowing that you have to put some input also, because we do have to be the creators and put some input, but also not too much. Because if we get too much into it, we can get caught up into, the wish and the frustration of not having it at the way how we want it, or at the time that we want it, or things like that. Just by knowing to trust in the creative process and the law of attraction for the achievement of our goals. That's why it's important to always, when you want to achieve something, to go to your heart, and to ask to your heart, why do you want to achieve that? Why do you are reaching that? Why do you want to reach that, or to experience that, or to do that? What is the intention behind? And when you have intention of love, happiness, that you want to do something for well-being, then of course you will attract that. That will manifest because it's a good intention.
I love that reminder for all of us. At some point, some minutes ago, you were saying that you experienced being energy, right? Like this connected to everything. But you also said that you had chosen to be a human being. So my question would be like, what is to be a human being, and why would you choose to come here? And I'm saying you, but it touches us all, right?
I choose to be here because this is a way for me to see how creative I can be. How I can take the power of thought and to manifest something that maybe can transform the humanity. So that is what I came here to see how far my intelligence can go, and to be able to see it in physical form. Being human is so beautiful. We have the great gift of being able to walk this earth, to breathe this beautiful energy, prana. We have the great gift of being able to see, to talk, to think, to create, and to share our thoughts with other people, and to together create so many beautiful things, so many wonderful experiences of happiness. And that is also very important. We came here to experience happiness, to create and to experience happiness. And why is that happiness is important? If you notice, that's what we all want. Every human being in this planet wants to be happy.
Yes.
And at some degree in their hearts, all what they are doing is to finally feel happy. Maybe they are working, they are doing this or that, but they all want to be happy. And it's because that is in the core of our beingness. It's in our soul spirit. That message, that mission, that is our mission, to be happy. Why? Is because happiness is an energy force. And when more people is happy, the energy force of happiness grows in the planet. And it's like the energy field of the planet.
That's a very interesting approach to happiness as an energy field. I had never heard that before.
So as more people became happy, we connect with our true power and we share our gifts and we all experience joy in a more daily basis, the energy field of the planet will emanate, will radiate these waves of love. And this is what expands the universe. This is the energy of the universe. The source of the universe is our joy. At the same way how we receive this beautiful energy of well-being, the universe itself also needs us to work as a dynamo and continue creating energy for its expansion. So we all humans are here to do that. And, imagine just one person that is achieving its goals, is being happy and is radiating positive thoughts and, of course, also attracting positive thoughts. So there is this cycle of joy, you see. But as much more people join this, is a lot of energy, and that is huge expansion of the universe.
And tell me, what would you say it's a key aspect of happiness? How can people be, happier? And we're talking about even to people, that work from 9 to 5 and live in the city and can be a little bit disconnected with themselves. So what could be simple steps to achieve that happiness that you're talking about?
First step will be to be in a state of gratitude. So like to wake up your day, to wake up in the morning and start your day feeling grateful with what you have, just to be alive. That will be the best starting point, just to celebrate that you are alive. Yeah. And then you can implement and integrate different practices. For example, what I teach that I see that is benefiting people to center themselves, to gain control of themselves, is conscious breathing. Very simple exercises like 10 deep breaths in and out through the nose, or in through the nose and out through the mouth, or in and out through the mouth, deeply breaths. Just giving enough time to focus a little bit in the circulation of air through your body will naturally make you feel relief, calm after 10 breaths. And just creating that flow of energy will open up other possibilities for your day to feel better, to change the mood. And of course, way for us to be happy is to do what we like, to do what we know that is what we like to do, to discover that gift. Sometimes people, is musicians or painters or they have a lot of talents, but because of the work or because of responsibilities, we let away those things. And the idea is to bring back those things that make you feel happy about yourself. Bring back those activities, those hobbies that you used to enjoy, and start integrating them back into your life. And then there is other ways also to go to the next level. You see, like, conscious breathing for more time, or connecting energy through your hands. For example, one of the ways how I share people in the process how to connect with energy is through their hands also. I don't know, there is something like Reiki or like reconnective healing and many modalities of energy work, but I have learned my own way to just make people aware of the energy that is around them and teaching them how to connect with the energy that is around them. And I have noticed that just by connecting with the energy that is all around us, people feel happy, feel connected. And so, there are many ways. Of course, if you want me, I can share a meditation, or I can share something more useful that can benefit people right away.
No, I would love that. Yes, for sure.
Awesome. So we can do something like 10 minutes.
Perfect.
Okay?
And I think this would be a great practical way people can connect with themselves, and as part of the ending part of the interview as well.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So we are ending. Wonderful. Thank you so much for opening the door. I'm very happy to share with you.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Okay, so, let's begin with, this is going to be a breathing. So when you feel ready, you will start to breathe in and out through the nose. Inhaling deeply, expanding your chest, and connect with the air. As you breathe, you are naturally relaxing your mind, relaxing your body. Deeply relaxed you are. And now continue breathing and let go the past. Breathe deeply. And now let go also the future. And be here in the present, receiving the good things of life. Breathe. Feel the light of the sun, the light of the moon accompanying you. Always radiating light to you. Feel it. Energy of life in the nature. Energy of life in your home. Energy of life in your physical body. Breathe. You are doing it so good. Relaxing yourself in the good things of life. From this state, now you are going to focus in the present moment. And you are going to charge your body with the energy of the present. And you will consciously start to breathe the energy of the present. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth this time. And at this way, notice that you have now more space to breathe. More space to expand your chest and receive the good things of life. Energizing your body. Now that you are consciously breathing, expanding the energy of your physical body, you're going to also program your body with positive information of happiness. So now I invite you to think about something that makes you feel happy, or somebody, or any moment in which you experience joy. And think about that and allow for the current of emotions of joy to become part of you. You can also bring a smile to your face and open up yourself to the joy, to the happiness that is your nature. And just by doing this, relaxing yourself, bringing positive ideas, memories, thoughts into your mind, you are naturally raising your frequency. naturally entering into a new state of being in which happiness, love is possible and very easy to achieve. And whenever you feel to continue, you can use this same breathing meditation to make it permanent. Now take your time and prepare to be in your natural state. Andy.
Such a beautiful meditation. I'm very, very grateful. It totally transported me to a really beautiful state.
Wonderful. I'm very happy to hear that, and I hope that it happens the same for every person that listens to this podcast.
Me too. Akahi, just to finish, is there a message that you would like to share? Anything that you feel is your core message?
The message will be to take the life easy, to enjoy the life. Take it easy, enjoy the journey. There is a lot of time, and just to remember to all of us that we have the gift, and that whenever you give the time to yourself, you will discover what you have to share with the world.
Thank you so much. I have the time just flew. I'm impressed. We've been talking for more than an hour, and it has been such a pleasure to just share space with you. And yeah, I'm really, really grateful for your time and your knowledge and your presence.
Thank you, Javiera. I wish you the best, and we definitely will continue in contact.